Welcome back to a Thursday afternoon sports chat on 103.3 The GOAT. Dave Schultz, Lyndon Burton. It is NFL Draft Day, and we have on the show a very special guest, former Raging Cajun. He is a former Florida Gator as well. He is Osiris Torrence, hopping on. Osiris, did you get any sleep last night?
A little bit, about 4 or 5 hours, not too much.
That's not bad. I'm not sure I would get to sleep on the weekend, on the eve of the NFL Draft. What has this process been like for you?
It's been pretty good, honestly. I mean, I've been able to meet different teams and like go to different places and like able to feel the different cultures of each team. And I just feel like it's like getting more and more surreal each day, and today's finally the day. But throughout this whole process, I've just been trying to enjoy it and trying to let it get to my head and let it stress me out too much to just enjoy the whole process.
What have you learned anything about yourself during the process?
Yeah, I learned that I can explain myself better than I thought I could, like with just telling my story over and over again with different teams and just expressing how I grew up. I felt like I was better at that than I thought, because that was one of the things I was most worried about, because the on-the-field stuff with the combine, I could do that. It's still football at the end of the day. It's just how athletic it is. The hardest part for me probably was the interviews and just making sure I was ready for it, and then being able to do good at those interviews was the only thing I was worried about. But the fact that I was able to do good in those, like, let me realize that about myself, that I was worrying too much about it, honestly.
We're talking with Osiris Torrence, former Cajun, former Florida Gator. All right, let's back it up here. I'm looking at your 24/7 rankings, all right? Osiris Torrence, high school, offensive tackle, by the way, 6'5", 330 pounds, St. Helena College and Career Academy, 3-star recruit. You were the 123 offensive tackle rated. You were the 61st ranked player in Louisiana. I saw Daniel Jeremiah's rankings. You are the top-rated guard on the board in the NFL Draft. Can you imagine where you were when you were enrolling with the Raging Cajuns in August of 2019 as, originally a tackle, and now you're the top-rated guard?
No, I really can't. Just seeing how it all played itself out. I tried to look too much at the rankings and stuff like that, especially coming out of high school, because I knew once you get to college, it's like a whole new clean slate. So that's kind of what I looked at it. That's kind of how I looked at it, and that's kind of how I attacked it. Like, every day just trying to just prove it to myself and to the people who voted on those things, to that I'm a good player, and I'm able to get better each year and stuff like that, and just to prove I can be the best in my position. And I feel like over time I've done it. Each year I've gotten better, and I show that even though I'm in a different position, I've been the most dominant at that position, I feel like.
When did it click? When did you realize that you could be this kind of player? You were coming in, I think you played on the same team, right? 1 year with Kevin Dodson and Robert Hunt. You were on one side of the line and Max Mitchell on the other side of the line. Seems the Cajuns are really good at finding undervalued offensive linemen. When did it click in your head that maybe I am as good as I can be?
It really clicked for me after Kevin and Rob had left, because, it started to click a little bit while they was there, because I would be watching film and see them do things and practice and stuff like that. And then I try the next day, and then I noticed myself getting better each time over with. So just watching those guys, I was able to get better. But when they left and it was our first game against Iowa the next year in 2020, that's when I kind of realized that I could be one of the best guards at it, because of how dominant I was in that game. And you know how it is when you're in a low conference like the Sun Belt. You always think that you need to do more, or guys aren't as good. Well, that's the stigma that goes around. But when I was able to do that in that game, because I was a young player and I thought that's how it was, it made me feel like, I could really be good, because I'm having good against Iowa State. So, the rest of the guys in the Sun Belt, it'll make it a little bit easier for me to have a good dominant game, because I did good in that game. It just helped boost my confidence that first game of my sophomore season.
How much does it help having a guy like Elijah Mitchell behind you?
He helped out a lot. I can't leave that part out too. They helped out a lot. I can imagine a few of the blocks I've missed or could have been better positions on, but because of the player he was, he still made the right cut and right angles to get up out the situation and get yards, so even a touchdown. So they helped out a lot.
I talked to Coach Mike Desimo, and obviously they deserve a lot of credit for finding the undervalued linemen like yourself and Robert Hunt and Kevin Dodson. They don't get quite as much credit for finding the Max Mitchells, because all they did was see Elijah Mitchell's tape and see Who's blocking for him? Oh, let's go get that guy. Even I could do that. Come on.
Yeah. I know what you mean by that. It was easy, especially for me coming in. Like, the running back they had, like, my first year they had Ray McCalley, was Elijah Mitchell and Trey Regis there. Ray McCalley left, but I still had Eli Mitchell and Trey Regis. And then after that year they had left, I actually had Chris Smith and then Montreal Johnson. Then went to Florida. Montreal came. Then got Trevor Etienne. So I kind of just been lucky with a bunch of great running backs so far, honestly.
Talking with Osiris Torrence, former Raging Cajun, former Florida Gator. All right, let's talk about that. Like you mentioned, you went from the Cajuns to the SEC. What kind of transition was that for you, trying to hang in the SEC East?
It was mostly like more of a physical transition. Like the hardest part for me was like just getting like my body used to blocking the bigger guys. For me, there was the most difference from playing from the Sunday to the SEC was just the size of the D linemen and linebackers. Most of the technique and stuff kind of was the same. Honestly, some guys were a little bit better with technique in the Sunday because they were more undersized, so they had to be good at technique. Otherwise, in the SEC, you'll get more guys who are strong and more powerhouses because they were just that big and strong, which, I mean, it worked for them because, I mean, they were still pretty good. So it's trying to flip my mind over and get into that more mind frame of playing against powerhouse mentality type players instead of the more technical players I played at Sunbelt was kind of probably my biggest switch and change coming over from the Sunbelt to the SEC.
Is it me or does Billy Napier have more gray hair these days?
He definitely got a little bit more than he did when he first picked me up.
We're talking with Osiris Torrence on a Thursday afternoon sports chat. 103.3 The GOAT, former Raging Cajun offensive lineman, former Florida Gator offensive lineman. Another one of those Gators that may get selected today is expected to be a high first-round pick. Your thoughts on Anthony Richardson?
I haven't been there that long, only just a year, but the time I've been there, I built some pretty good relationships with some of the guys there. Anthony is one of them. Just the way how he just commands the team, even though he was in a situation where he wasn't 100% known, like good on the playbook. He still like tried his best. You've seen it every day. Like it was because I've been in offense for so long, I can kind of know what some of the plays are for the quarterbacks. So I'd be listening to some of those type plays and just from how he will mess them up, or not mess them up, just not get them the exact way that they were supposed to be ran the first few days of spring practice, into how he gotten better each day towards the end of spring, and the levels he gotten better at over summer with learning the playbook and learning the checks, to how much he's gotten better with from fall to the season, just showing like how he come in every day ready to work. He's young, but I mean he's still like approaching like a pro, and you just gotta respect it. And that's one thing I noticed about Anthony Richardson while I was in Florida for that 1 year.
All right, so what are the plans for the draft? Are you in Kansas City? I mean, you're slated to go somewhere, middle first to early second. How are you handling the draft?
I wanted to stay back home, somewhere close to home, so I can have my family members come back and just be around enough for the time.
So you're back in Greensburg, Louisiana?
No, sir. I was going to do it in Greensburg, but I couldn't find a good enough spot, so I just decided to do it in Baton Rouge, which it's still close enough. It's just 45 minutes from Greensboro, so it was close enough.
I was going to ask how many people live in Greensburg, Louisiana. Do you know what the population is?
It ain't no more than 700.
Really? I mean, so everybody knows everybody in Greensburg, Louisiana?
Yeah, just about. If I would have had the party in Greensboro, definitely the whole Greensboro would have pulled up.
That would have been awesome. That would be awesome. All right. So
it would have been crazy.
All right. So has your agent discussed it? What have you been told about tonight and tomorrow? What that process is going to be like? Do you get a call right before you're getting picked? How does this whole process work from your point of view?
It's like my agent talking about it was like you get a call right before you pick. Sometimes Twitter might know before you because that's how fast the media works, but you usually get a call like right before you picked, and then that's when they tell you. Then it'll come on TV up like a few moments after that. So I'm just kind of waiting for that moment just to get the call and be able to let my dreams come true. Really, it ain't nothing much more than that. Just waiting for it.
So we're talking with Osiris Torrence, a former Florida Gator, former Raging Cajun offensive lineman. All right, so a lot of people would see this as a lottery ticket. I'm sure I would think of the first thing I was going to buy. Is there something that you are going to buy the first thing you do with your check?
I don't know exactly what it's going to be at, but it's definitely going to be something for my mom or my grandma.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I want something for myself for sure, but I feel like it's only right for me to get them right first and then take care of myself, because that's how they deal with me growing up all my life. Like, the sacrifices they made to make sure me and my brothers had food, or even had games that we didn't need but just wanted at the time. I noticed the sacrifices that they made for me. Not even at the time, just more recently, since I've been in this process of how good they've been to me. So I just thought it's just best for me to get them right in any type of way, no matter what it be. So, yeah.
What would it mean to be – did you grow up a Saints fan? What would it mean to be drafted by the Saints?
I did grow up a Saints fan because my grandma was a Saints fan, so I ended up having to watch it, and I ended up kind of growing up as a Saints fan. It'll mean a lot being able to stay home and play in the hometown state. It'll definitely be something special, and then I wouldn't mind at all to do. So just being able to stay home and being close to family, being able to play in my home state and the team I watched mostly like growing up, that would be real cool.
Here's Osiris Torrence. He is the top-rated guard on many, many draft boards. He's a former Florida Gator offensive lineman, former Raging Cajun offensive lineman. Really appreciate your time, Osiris. Congratulations on all the success, and best of luck with the NFL draft. Hopefully we'll talk with you again soon, okay?
Yes, sir, and thank you. Have me on.